The Evil Queen is like a nice frostbitten day with hot cocoa with whipped cream and cinnamon to me. Like it just
And
gives me
gingerbread.
And gingerbread cookies. Just gives me that warm tingling feeling on the inside. Hey you guys, and welcome back to another episode of the recap, review, whatever it is of Once Upon a Time that you guys like to see me do. So this, in case you didn't get to tell by how I even began this video, is going to be a complete different video than how I normally do it. Instead of giving you kind of a semi-chronological order of what happened throughout the episode, we're just going to get right into it, and I'm going to just tell you guys how I felt and what I can remember as it comes off the top of my head. I thought that it would be fun to do a video with me and my friends watching Once Upon a Time. I don't know. What do you guys think? I thought it would be fun, and I did have fun. So let's get right into this. Let's begin with the ridiculousness of the very first scene. There was really no point, in my personal opinion, of this scene. We see the Dairy Queen in Boston, and she goes in, and this is how naive she is to our realm. She goes into a gypsy lady and starts telling her all the core things of what she needs to know. And wants her to tell her the future. I mean, really? I thought that was hilarious. And when I first saw that scene, I was like, this is not going to blow over well. So, Dairy Queen goes up in there and she's all like, Madam who, blah, blah. Tell me, I'm looking for a girl who at the age of 28 is going to be in Storybrooke and she's going to do magnificent things. I need you to, help me find her. So she's like, okay, sit down. And she's all like, oh, how are you going to show me your gratitude? Because she is just as melodramatic as Belle is. And she's all like, oh, thank you. I thought that was hilarious because it's like, oh, you don't know what that means. Okay. She's like, no, how are you going to pay me? So she's like, oh, will this do? And she gives her necklace, which I could have sworn we saw her wearing that necklace. So, but I'm not sure about that. But I'm going to leave that one alone because I'm not sure. Anyway. So, okay, fine. So the woman sits down and she's all up in her crystal ball like, I see a girl. And she's all like, yes, yes, yes. She's like, she's very special. She's like, yes, yes, I know this. Tell me what I don't know. She done had the Dairy Queen all like for reals believe in her, right? Like she got the Dairy Queen really thinking that she knows like life. And then she makes the fatal mistake. She didn't even get that far into the reading. She over there talking about, her name is. Well, it's at this point that the Dairy Queen now knows this woman is a fraud, and she's all like, negative, and she starts trying to get crazy with this woman, but see, Dairy Queen, she is not from Boston, which, their attitudes are just as bad as, anybody else on the East Coast. We don't play. So, of course, she got a bat. She ready to kick the Dairy Queen's behind. And the Dairy Queen is all like, you lied. And like, where I come from, you get punished. And she's getting ready to go all icy princess on her. But, Dairy Queen. No, boo-boo. You in America. You in my realm. We ain't got that magic. So that was Dairy Queen's first lesson in, like, our realm. But, I mean, like I said in the beginning, I don't even understand why they threw that part in. It was so irrelevant to life. But it was funny. Now let's get into the whole thing that this whole episode was even about. This episode was about that shattered curse, man. Like, first you see, like, everybody just fighting on the street. Yo, the one part that had me dying, though, did anybody else peep this? When they first show the overview of the streets of Storybrooke and people fighting, you see somebody just pushing Dopey. And Dopey is just sitting there on the curb like this. As someone's pushing him. Like, he's not even doing anything. Like, I was dying. It's such a small, minuscule thing, and it happened in seconds. But I just found that so funny. And, of course, what's the next scene we see? We see Charming and Snow White. It's Charming and Snow White. Like, they're perfect. Obviously, there are chinks in people's armor, right? Because nobody's perfect, right? Hello. Let's take a hint from Miley Cyrus, okay? Nobody's perfect. Or maybe that was Hannah Montana. I don't know. Same person, just different names, all bipolar, whatever, split personalities. So you see them in the cell going at it. Like, okay, first of all, Snow White has done a lot more evil things than Prince Charming has. So we all knew Snow White was going to be a little bit more cutthroat in this scene. Charming, not so much. But the one thing that he did say was so funny. So, does anyone remember when, like, season 1, when Emma and Snow were like, well, Mary Margaret were like best friends, and they were just kind of like talking, and you know, when they came out of the spell, she was like, as mother and daughter, we said a lot of things that we shouldn't have, like about Dr. Quayle, and then Charming is like, you were with Quayle or Whale, whatever his name is, and she's all like, oh, we were under a curse, I didn't know, and like Charming made a face, but Charming didn't say anything about that. Well, Charming had a certain type of feeling about, you know, her with Whale, because Snow had the audacity to be like, I can't even believe I had a baby with you, and Charming was all like, you didn't. Could be whales. No, I don't know about you guys, but the shade that was thrown in that scene had us like dying. Like, did you see our faces? But Snow wasn't the only person Charming was throwing shade at. Oh no, Charming had a few choice words about his friend Kristoff. And we were like, but you know, I can't watch Once Upon a Time without having a question. But this time, instead of asking you guys, I got to ask my fellow onces. So, here's my question, because I love just questioning the flaws of the show. How on God's green earth are Snow and Charming fighting if they share Snow White's heart? Charming should be angry at himself if Snow is angry at him. They share a heart. He has half of her heart because she used his heart to turn off, to cause the spell that the evil queen did again. So I don't understand how he has any emotion towards her when it's not even his heart. But then one of my fellow onces retorts with,
you've never been angry at yourself for what you did?
But he's not angry at himself. He's angry at Snow. And he has Snow's heart.
But
so
you've never been angry at yourself for what you did?
Of course I have. I've been angry about half the men I've dated.
Well, that explains that for me.
Angry at herself for some of the things she did. So then it'll only be David portraying that hatred, but it's really her heart that feels those things. He's only the vessel to portray that.
Now I see what you're saying.
He's brilliant. Just
okay. Now, while my fellow once did bring up a really good point, and I did fathom that idea when I asked the question, here's my issue with his theory, and I really wish I had thought about this when we were together. If he in fact was speaking for Snow, why did he feel a certain type of way and make that retort about Dr. Whale? Unless they're trying to say that Snow thinks she a hoe. Nah, I'm sorry, once a friend. I don't think that the writers were thinking that far ahead when they wrote that. Sorry, I just don't believe that. But let's get right back into it, because we all know what my favorite part of this episode was. And you guys all know what I was waiting to see. Regina. When we first see Regina, the only thing I could say was, that face. She's back. That was all I could say. She's back. Now, when I watch Once Upon a Time, I watch it on Couch Turner, which is online, and they don't show you the previews of what's going to happen next. Okay. Or at least the format I watch it in doesn't. So, you know, I'm always surprised. I knew from the summertime that Regina was going to end up in her, like, whole wardrobe thing, but we just didn't know how. All Lana Padilla would say is that, you know, the way she got there was fun. So we knew since the summertime that she was going to be the evil queen, but we didn't know how, and I didn't watch the previews. So for me to see her in her, while we're on the topic of the evil queen, let's just talk about that fight scene between Snow and the evil queen. That scene gave me life. You don't understand. I was waiting for Snow White to finally say to Regina that she was 10 years old when that happened and she really needs to just get over it. Like, I was just waiting for that. I'm mad it took a curse and it took that long, but I was waiting for Snow to say that. I have to say, I was hugely entertained by that fight scene. I know a lot of people were not thrilled with this episode and you know, how everything went down, but I got sheer entertainment. Not just me, but my fellow onces that was kicking it with me. We all got entertainment from this fight. First of all, I thought Snow White and Regina were hilarious because it was the first time that we saw Snow White like truly tell like the evil queen what was on her mind. Nothing was funnier than when she said I was 10 and started like lunging at her, and then when she was all like, you really want to see me angry? Wake up my baby. Like, I just thought that was hilarious. And I just want to say that I love it when Regina calls Charming and Snow the two idiots. I'm just throwing that out there. Those were my favorite scenes. Like that boom right there. That whole entire scene of them fighting was like my favorite scene. It was absolutely hilarious. Now let's just get right into the connection between Dairy Queen and Emma Swan. If you guys remember, like, basically first episode of the beginning of this season ago, okay, Emma was like going down memory lane on this old camcorder, and we see at the very end of the tape Dairy Queen. And it's all like, how do you know Dairy Queen? And Emma's all like, I don't know. If I knew how I knew Dairy Queen, we wouldn't be in this bread. Okay? So like 9 episodes down the line, thanks writers of Once Upon a Time, we finally get to see what the connection is. So here's the connection. The connection is that the Dairy Queen was like, I don't know what exactly she was, but she had Emma. But she wasn't like legally like custodial owner of Emma, but she had Emma, right? So if you remember when we see her, this boy had like taken the camera from her. It was like this little disgusting boy. And then you see the Dairy Queen saying, Kevin, give it back to Emma. And she walks towards the camera. So this scene goes right into what happens after she walks towards the camera. So she walks towards the camera. And like, how many times am I going to say she walks towards the camera? I don't know. Sorry. Anyway, she grabs it from the little redhead chubby boy, and she's all like, we respect personal property. Don't worry, Emma, I got you. And then she like leaves, and she's like, lights out in 10. And this little chunky like dude that looks like he could be the grandson of the Pillsbury Doughboy comes up, and he's all like, you better give me that camera if you know what's best for you, or like, I'm gonna make your life a living hell. I don't know who the Twinkie King thinks he was talking to. Because if I was Emma, I would have been like, or I'll just shove more Twinkies down your throat. Oh, but Emma just was like, you know what? I'm not even going to get into this. I'm just going to run away. So when lights go out and she thinks everybody's asleep, Emma packs up her stuff and she's about to walk out the door. And then like the Dairy Queen turns on the light because, you know, it's like all those episodes where like the parents are always sitting there in the dark all creepily as the kid is either sneaking out or sneaking back in. Yeah. And she like does her soft voice mind messing psychology with Emma. And so basically Emma's all like, I don't need you to worry about me. I can worry about myself, this and this and that. And the Snow Queen is like empathizing with her, like, yeah, I tried to run away too.
I didn't run away far enough.
But my family wouldn't let me run away. And woo, 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 woo. And so Emma's like, okay, well, that's nice. You're lucky. I don't have anyone to like worry about me. And she's like, that's not true. I'll worry about you. And Emma's still like, yeah, no, I'm good. And then she's like, that's fine. And then she's like, too bad that you can't stay to get back at Kevin because, you know, he's like afraid of spiders. And then she's like, she has these, first of all, did anyone else question why? But she has these fake spiders in her drawer, and she practically is telling Emma where they are and giving her permission to scare the living bejesus out of the Twinkie King with fake spiders. So one of my fellow onces was all like, and I was like, I put it on his Twinkie. Outfit change. But for real. So, like, that's the beginning of Emma and Ingrid's, good relationship. And then the Dairy Queen starts acting all weird, telling her the truth, but it's weird to someone who doesn't know what you're talking about, and just, like, freaks Emma out and, like, tries to kill her just a little bit by having her stand in front of a moving vehicle. I don't understand why that moving vehicle was playing chicken with humans. I don't know what took him so long to swerve. Or better yet, why didn't he just hit the brakes? I don't know. Y'all know I'd be having some questions about Once Upon a Time. But I throw my hands up in the air to that. Throw my hands in the air. Hands in the air. Anyway. So, basically, that's all that happened this episode. It was pretty freaking awesome. Okay, but wait, of course, the ending. The ending was quite sappy and seemed kind of rushed because Anna finds a bottle on the beach because Regina had, like, blasted her and Kristoff to the beach. And she finds a bottle on the beach that has a note in it, which was from her mom. And after smashing Kristoff over the head with the bottle, she reads the note, and the note reveals all that is right with the world. And Anna saves the day. Can you believe it? Anna saves the day. Anna comes in with this note, and the note is pretty much Ingrid confessing everything that she did and how she feels bad about it. And apparently, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in this video, and I'm not about to go through and see. I'm just going to say it. So, when Ingrid took away the memories of everyone in Arendelle, of her sisters, she somehow happened to take away the good memories of her and her sisters together. Because in the note, there was a little piece of a rock, and, Ingrid touched the rock and her memories came back, and she remembered all the love of her sisters, which I don't understand how she just forgot the love and just remembered the bad. I don't really understand that, but okay. So she remembered all the love of her sisters, and then she realized what she did was wrong, and then she took all the glass and made it like a whirlwind around her, and she basically committed suicide. Yeah. And she saved the town. So, yeah. That's pretty much what happened this episode. Yep. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I didn't see a lot of Outlaw Queen, but that was completely, like, supplemented by the Evil Queen, which I thought was amazing. So that was the review / recap / whatever you want to call it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I have a little bit of a surprise for you guys at the very end. So don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and share, because sharing is caring. And let me know how much you guys like these reviews, or how little you like them, or what you would like to see in these reviews / recaps. And I know this is still long, but it's shorter than the first one and the second one, so timing is getting better. I'm still trying to figure out how to do these videos. Yeah, it's a work in progress. Rome was not built in a day, people. Bye. Yeah.